Over the last couple of years, I have been drowned by my childhood memories and cherish the places where I spent my childhood in Dobrogeia that hold meaningful stories for me. My quest during these years has been how best to capture my emotions and to translate them into images that carry memory values for me, but also for other people from different generations. This is how the project Threshold came to life. Crossing the threshold is both a physical and metaphorical journey. It is a poetic endeavor that explores loose associations between images, personal experience, and streams of consciousness. Threshold is the connection that exists between the present and the past, the inside and the outside, the reality and the memory, and the tangible and intangible. It is about departing the outside world and embracing a more hidden and intimate one that reveals more about my recollections. Throughout this project, I have learned from Jung's writings about the collective unconscious, the unknown known, that is deeply embedded in our minds and passed on in our DNA from generation to generation, as well as from Freud, Adler, and other theorists who discuss the meaning and importance of our early memories and how one can develop his personality and world by generating and reliving these memories. Thus, Threshold has become a photographic project that traces the illusory contours of my childhood memories and unveils the intense feelings that surface whenever I return to the remote, old Turkish villages in the southern of Dobrogeia region where I grew up. Dobrogeia lies between the Danube River and the Black Sea in the eastern part of Romania. It is a melting pot of many different ethnicities and religions: Turks, Tatars, Greeks, Armenians, Ukrainians, Romanians, and Jews that were brought here by the history. As many others, my own family roamed in Dobroja in first decade of the 19th century after leaving Constantinople. I now better understand the origin of the strong sense of affinity I have with the Turkish population that now calls Dobrogeia as its own home. That's why my work has been focusing on Turkish villages, including Veleni, Lespetsi, Dobromir, and Faurai. Threshold is so far a 3-chapter project. Each chapter represents a threshold that I crossed, from the outside of people's homes into their privacy, then from the bare land's solitude to the animated play of the children who lived there, and lastly, from the straightforward village images to the most personal thoughts and memories I have about these places captured with Polaroids. It all started when I took pictures of the Dobrogeia girls outside and then inside of their homes, relating my personal memories to these children and their dwellings. Their homes don't resemble anymore the ones I remember from my childhood, being deprived of personality and individualism due to decades of communism and cultural alienation. The second chapter is concentrated on the geography of these places and on the children's natural connection to their land. That helped me to illustrate the notion of the unbreakable connection between the land and those who live here. I also experimented with collages to further illustrate how the children bring color and life to the untamed and barren land. This created a sense of contrast and even surrealism of the images of the dry and lifeless landscape. The third chapter took a more intimate, private, and cathartic approach, painting my memories with personal, detailed depictions of Dobrogeia life. Like Proust's Madeleine, I made an effort to capture on camera anything that brought back memories for me when I was here in these villages. For this chapter, I used the Polaroid cameras that surprise the present, but with a faded, nostalgic quality. When it came to artistic approach, Andrei Tarkovsky is a major inspiration, and the idea that the Polaroid picture is an immediate imprint of reality and its power as a medium for nostalgia, and also as a medium with subversive affect through the aesthetics of visual romanticism. I produced dummy books with the images created for each of the learning modules, corresponding to each chapter of the project. Each explored the main learning objectives around collaboration, informing context, and sustainable development. Thus, the girls' portraiture included a collaborative component from the community that provided messages, letters containing wishes and dreams, and some archive pictures. Bika de Porter and Carolyn Drake work was an inspiration for the collaborative approach. In the landscape book, I added collages to support the notion of an enduring bond between the children and their surroundings. In the process, I was informed by artists like Todd Heido, Einhoa Rodriguez, Eileen Agar, and Julie Blackman. The third one, the Polaroid images, were printed on fabric and presented in a sketchbook, together with my personal notes from readings on memories. I was also inspired by the book The Photographer's Sketchbooks, the collection of 50 photographers' photographic journals. During the work here and throughout the project, I paid attention to sustainability, especially regarding traveling and printing methods. The final project will tie together the 3 chapters. The bond will be achieved by adding self-portraits alone or in groups with others, and in similar settings as in the previous chapters: home interiors, landscape, and Polaroid photos. I will also add to this my own sketches, thoughts, and photo archive to complete the puzzle of past and present, real and imaginary, outside and inside. I intend to impress on the collaborative character of my relations with the subjects and landscape, either in my images with local people when I take group portraits or when placing myself in the landscape. I will examine how I fit into different settings I photographed during the previous modules, and I will also attempt to insert myself into group photos. These ideas are inspired by photographer Trish Morrissey. I struggle with how best to present this project to a larger audience. Each person has a place they resonate with that surfaces childhood memories. So in this sense, each person has his own Dobrogeia. However, the modality to present the work is critical for conveying my emotions and meanings and triggering similar viewers' emotions. I also intend to produce a few short films with images from Dobrogeia. The narration will draw inspiration from personal family history and photo archives. It will build on the studies on childhood memories, such as Jung, Freud, and Adler's. The background music will be selected from old music that is representative of the ethnicities living in Dobroja and which brings forth my emotions and memories. I would like to organize an exhibition where these thresholds can be represented in a 3D dimension, taking the auditor on a journey into the hidden labyrinth of memories and places of Dobroja. I have had initial discussions with a few galleries located in Constanta, the closest important city in this region. Finally, I plan to develop a photo book to present the elements that forge the irrevocable bond between the present me and my childhood memories and places. I want to expose the different layers of meaning and convey the feeling of fragments of recollections where not all is expressed and understood. Thus, I want the viewer to be left with a sense of mystery that calls for more explanation. I look forward to receiving your advice to perfect these intentions and put them into practice. Thank you.